So we open, and fortunately Mona's doing most of the talking, so we don't have to hear Carlos Spittle hit the screen. But her mom worked hard, sent her to private schools. She got her start working at Radio City taking seasonal gigs. Then she worked with this group that taught artists development, like how to hold a mic and how to project. So that's how the idea of management came up to her, because she was already helping artists. So then she got a job with Violator Records by meeting Chris Lighty, and then from that, she said, let's do Violator management, because there were a whole bunch of acts that Chris Lighty knew that didn't have management, but because he was president of Def Jam, they were in a great position to help. So her first big client was Missy, and Missy didn't really want a manager. Missy didn't want to be an artist because back then they were switching out bigger black women for thinner black women in the music videos, like with the Weather Girls. Okay, now we talk about Mona's personality and harassment. She said, I've always set the tone with my personality, and Carlos said she is intimidating, and there's something about that rasp that I could see her getting men in line. But I don't see her as mean, it's just very no nonsense. So she goes into how she would get brand deals for the artists, especially since the budgets weren't as big. That's how they were able to get people to pay for things. She said 50 Cent was the one who came up with the vitamin water idea, because he said we're going to make water sexy and not just sell it to the black market, but to everybody, because everybody money green. She big up her husband, and she says he does a lot of the back end work for the company, and they both own that company together, so he's just as rich. Carlos King, I can't listen to you say you want to see black women live their wildest dreams when you paying $2,500 an episode. That's not wildest or dream. That's barely a nap. Carlos says that he understands why Mona's marriage works, because it's best to have one star per household, because he couldn't marry another star like him. Because both of you would die from asphyxia from all the smoke you'd blow up each other's ass? Must be that. So we're an hour in and she starts talking about love and hip hop. She said she loved Gandhi because she's so raw and so real. Except with that fake marriage to avoid paying state restitution. However, Cheap Los King wouldn't even turn the air conditioning on. He got Mona in there just rasping and sweating. So she worked real close with the president of VH1. He took her under his wing, and that's why the show looks the way it does. This isn't giving us much new information. Now, I will say they both point out how the talent always lashes out at the black producers and never at the white. But the black producers, they probably feel like y'all know better. So Mona says that when people go off, she realizes they're more mad at what they did than they mad at her. So she's like, I'll just let them. I understand. You've made a fool of yourself, but I won't make a fool of mine. Now this is when Heffa Scott Young gets into her crafter. She gonna say it upsets me because they're messing up the opportunity for those coming behind them, that we as black people will blow up the building once we get our opportunity and we don't care. No, Heffa, they're also telling how production will be shiesty and shady to get their shekels. How they'll be conniving for a coin and how they'll tell business. Let's not act like your shows ain't been sneaky, shaky, and put people in positions where they want to whoop somebody's butt that they wouldn't be in real life because they would walk away, but you make them stay in film and work it through. You have people coming on ready to tell their business when you've made them think they're on your side. So don't be upset when they talk about how two-faced you is, Heffa. Two-faced it. Mona said, I got tired of everybody criticizing me and the black respectability politics and the fact that it seemed like there was a part of ourselves that we should be ashamed of. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. If you want to show your ass, show your ass. But then mature and grow. So Mona said she was disinvited from places when the series first started and shunned by black women. She said with Jocelyn things went too far, but the promise of love and hip hop was fulfilled because now she's doing something else. Mona said, I ain't had nothing to do with Erica's firing. I'm glad they got rid of her, but I'm not day-to-day. We're 14 years in. I don't get cuts of scenes no more. Child, she collects her check and takes a nap. And now she's in the tour business, and that was the shit. And I mean shit. It wasn't that informative. It didn't get into the meat of Love and Hip Hop, but I kind of feel like that story's been told. Well, at least I listened, so y'all didn't have to. But I'ma see you soon for Pop Roast. But let's get to Love and Marriage Huntsville. No, I feel like Baby Bop. So we open with Baby Bop and the 40-year-old teenager selling the car that he stole from 2-Bit, which was really his to get some fast cash for that ass. So him and Bray Bray are partners again. However, Tariq goes to meet Monet, and his spy lets them know that she can't find any information on Heifer Egan. So Monet still don't know it's Diana that almost did her in. Over with Kane and Effie, they're humping while she writes her letter to Stadenford. Over at the penthouse with Drew and Diana, Drew wants to be Noma's number 2. Across town with Davis, he's trying to use his partner that he was humping to take on his clients, and they like, I want you. Meanwhile, across town with Baby Bop, dropping by Method Man's, he says, I figure you know somebody in the biz. I need to connect without Monet or the Tejada's knowing. At the Tejada house, Mary upset that she got sidelined because she be passing out on them pills. Down at the precinct, Michael Ealy is grilling Noma's second lieutenant, Mr. OKK. So Ealy says, I know you got them green cards through Little Lord Short Leroy and your connections through Baby Bop. After that, we head to a fight club with Davis to introduce Tariq to his new connect. So he gets 12 bricks from Zion. However, somebody comes in during the drug deal and it seems like they recognize Baby Bop, but he don't recognize them. So I think there could be some hot drugs afoot. However, they take their goodies and go. Over with Noma's second lieutenant, he's finally out of jail and calls his brother. However, Drew at the apartment, so we tell him give the phone to Drew and tells Drew to pick him up at the precinct. So we find out the brother is who he got the green card for. Monet starts questioning Diana about Kate Egan, and she's like, oh, I never heard of a Kate Egan. Tariq just said that Tommy got the Addy from you. But Diana starts fiddling with her hand, and I wonder if Monet noticed that tell of her lie. Oh, goodness. Baby Bop already trying to take out Zion's supply chain so they can start dealing in bulk. Tariq's like, why are you so scary? Because y'all almost died 2 episodes ago. So, outside the precinct, Second Command meets up with Drew, and he says, don't tell Noma. He's like, we better. Oh, God. So, now Weston gotta try to get Becca to move because their name ain't on the building no more. She gonna end up doing the hot cocaine. Lord. So, Noma get back and end up killing her Second Command because she find out about them green cards and says, thank you for your services. Oh, Tammy Roman is iconic. So now he's dead and Drew gets to move up like he wanted. Or maybe Kane, because we know she likes his cane. So this is interesting. Baby Bop brings the new drugs to Effie and says he's seen him around campus, wanted to know if it was her. With Diana, light-skinned Keisha find out she pregnant when her phone dropped. And she like, I don't know what I'ma do yet. Don't have no baby by Tariq. Dinosaurs went extinct for a reason. Back at the office the next day with Noma, she asks Kane, you want to work for your mama your whole life or you ever gonna let that titty go? Oh, but as she gives him a little kiss, Effie walks in and catches the tender moment right after, but she knows something's going on. Kane's two-timing, but does Noma know? So Effie tells them about the rival drug selling in their territory. And Noma ain't gonna tolerate the disrespect, so orders a hit getting Tariq his way. Oh God, Golden Brooks is reminiscing with Mary J. Back to life. I see why Golden hasn't done any acting since Girlfriends. She's still giving me the same Maya Denise Wilkes. So we see Kane torches that guy's re-up. Then we get Lorenz Tate's brother with Michael Ealy, and he's like, look, Tariq is able to manipulate. And they find out about the torch product at this little Ponderoro. So they go down to check it out. So the Popo go to the scene, then they run the plates of the truck and head to Roman's house to yoke him up. Oh goodness, so we got Method Man helping Reek come up with the $50,000 he need to buy in for what's his name that just got yoked up. And Method Man said, shoot, since I ain't working, this money gotta work for me. Oh, well, they weren't able to find much on Noma's boy down at the station, so he still got that competente. Tariq said, well, since you're looking for a job, Meth Man, you can keep Noma busy so she stays out our business so we can keep doing business. However, Kane isn't believing Effie just found these drugs on campus. He believes it's Reek. She said, look, I ain't doing nothing with nobody. Why would I mess up my strategy? You're the one giving Noma the nookie and the cranny. I think Noma will take your cranny. Across town, Method Man drops by Noma's and says, I got some green cards for you. Well, Obi won't need one because he dead. Oh, Method Man trying to put the moves on No. The 40-year-old teenager hitting on some singer you ain't got time for love or lust. Oh, Lord, Braden ended up doing a little coke with her. Is this a hot dose? Somebody gonna get a hot dose. Lord, but over with Kane, he getting his hump on. This heifer getting her sing on. We ended the episode. We got 8 minutes left. That's usually when there's twirls. That 40-year-old teenager's gonna fall out. Oh, God, now Braden's trying to become a freaking record producer, saying if we can convince people that this group is the next thing, we could throw parties all over Tri-State and sell our druggy boo. How Murder Inc. of you. At the Tejada's house, it's Golden's last night, and they didn't even need to write this part for her on the show. It added nothing. Oh, God, Monet wants the kids to come back and work for her. She getting back in the game. Diane's down with it, but Noma ain't. However, Tariq and Monet get a message from Tariq's spy of that ring camera footage. Ooh, is this Diana doing the dirt? It's Diana doing the dirt. Monet got stank face. Diana, what did you do? Yup, we got Diana giving her that message. She gonna whoop her ass. So Drew and Diana run out the house before Monet get to whooping that ass. Well, that was the shit, and I'ma see you soon for something.